Hey, I'm Dave Gruber. I'm the Director of Developer Programs for Black Duck, and we are the stewards of Ohloh.net. I'm here today to tell you about a new community resource that we're launching this week, and we believe that can provide some leverage for everyone in the room here in building open source software. Back in late March, there was a summit held in Washington called the Smart Disclosure Summit, where technology luminaries and a number of key officials from government administration were brought together to talk about the topic of smart disclosure. Smart disclosure is a government initiative that's set out to address the fact that tons of information is captured from citizens every day with very little benefit going back to them as they interact with companies and government organizations. And so this effort is to help bring that information back in a value-added way back to the people who contribute it. Tim O'Reilly spoke at this conference, and while I didn't attend the conference, I did review his slides and speaker notes from the session. I found some very, very interesting things. One of the things that he talked about during his talk was that there's a number of consumer-oriented sites that are giant aggregators of information, and they provide choice engines. Then they help people aggregate tons of information and present it in a way that helps them make better decisions. And the value add of these systems isn't really about the data that's presented, but it's about how that data is presented, and really innovative approaches to delivering information in ways that can help drive decision-making and learnings and information. And so Tim said that data is the platform of the 21st century. And my takeaway from that statement was this clean separation between the massive amount of big data that's being captured now about consumer and people behavior, and the separation of the applications that live on top of that as a value add. A great example he brought up during that talk was mapping. And of course, the US government has amassed huge amounts of geospatial mapping data, and companies like Google brought that data in a very, very useful format with Google Maps and GPSs and other formats. I lost my clip there. That's a bummer. So now I'm going to make a big bridge here, which is that there are billions and billions of lines of open source code that we all deal with every day. And part of our what we do is we contribute to that open source code, and we share it in lots and lots of places. And I want to look at code as data. So think about code as a platform of data. So whereas data is the platform, code is that data. We share it all over the place in lots of different resources, repositories and different foundations and things. But what's limited is we don't have much of a choice engine to help us traverse all of this source code that exists in all of these places. And each of these individual stores has their own unique search engines that allow you to go in and look for code that you can find and reuse and build upon. But there are limited resources available that pull all of this information together. And so later this week, we're going to introduce an extension to Ohloh.net, and it's called Ohloh Code. And we're building a massive base of open source code. We'll have over 10 billion lines of open source code available as an initial start. There'll be lots and lots more over time. It's a syntax-aware code search engine, and so you'll be able to do specific search terms and look for specific classes, methods, functions, complex searches as well. It's going to amass data from all of these different repositories and create a giant store on top of the existing Ohloh metadata. So all the data about projects and contributors and timelines. And now you'll be able to drill down and gain access to code both ways, actually. Be able to search for code or search for projects and go the other way as well. You'll be able to filter your results with the code, so you'll be able to filter based on specific projects or languages or individual components within those projects as well. And the results you'll get back will all be formatted and color-coded and navigable, so you'll be able to drill down on individual pieces and parts within the code and actually trace things all the way back. So this is a value-add resource that can, it's very, very quick and very fast. It'll be driven in the browser as well. If you don't see your project, then you can take a look and cross over into Ohloh project information as well. So after you've found some code that you want to know who the developers were on that project, you can go and switch over to Ohloh Project View, and you can find out who all the developers were, how active a particular project is at a given time, and you can drill down and look at contributions and all the same data that you have access to today on Ohloh as well. If you have a project that's new, that's not yet indexed, that's there, that's very simple To do so, all you need to do is click the Add Project button on Ohloh. Anything in Ohloh will get indexed from a code perspective too. We're in process now of indexing all this code, and so it's actually chugging along right now. We're going to launch this live on Wednesday this week. We're going to come up in beta. It's not fully loaded, but we're getting there. We'll have over 10 billion lines of code by then, and we need to chug along. We'll be pushing 20 million or so, 20 billion or so beyond that. We're going to have a little launch party on Wednesday evening. We invite you to join us there and kick this off and give us your feedback. There'll be a feedback mechanism with this as well. So thanks very much.